Good morning, Mets fans, and welcome to a Wednesday edition of Driving with Mr. Met. I am Mr. Met, and in 56, I guess this is the 57th season, but in 56 years of New York Mets baseball, a Mets team has never gotten off to a start like the 2018 Mets have. At 9-1, the Mets continue to shock me every single day, and last night was no different. Underneath my my 2018 Mets hoodie, I'm wearing the orange "The Time Is Now" T-shirt, which I got on opening day 2015 when my dad and my brother and I sat with the 7-line army and watched the Mets beat the Phillies. The time was then in 2015, and I think that was just sort of a slogan and just sort of a catchphrase that we could use and rally behind. I don't know that anybody believed that the time was really now. Of course, it turned out to almost be true, but I'm wearing it now, and I feel like it really is true. The time is now. I know it's only 10 games, but this team has shown an unbelievable knack for not losing games early in the season, of course, but they've been down twice in the last 2 games, and they came back both times. And they didn't wait an inning or two to do it. They came back the immediate next inning. That's just unbelievable. And you know, I was talking about Cespedes being benched last night because he just seems off and slow. And even during the game, I was texting with my friends that I think Cespedes should have had the day, you know, because he's like a step or two behind. And then, of course, what does he do? He, in the top of the 9th, he drives in the 2 go-ahead runs for the Mets to win the game. I mean, he's batting 190 on the season. He's the best hitter in this lineup, and the Mets are still 9-1. Michael Conforto has been back for a week, a little over a week now. Or just about a week, I guess a week tomorrow. He had, you know, a couple of contributing hits, but he's not hitting the cover off the ball yet. And we know what he can do. So this team at 9-1 isn't even performing at the level at which its players are capable. That's a scary thought for everybody else in the National League, that this team is 9-1 right now, and they're getting average performances from DeGrom, average performances from Syndergaard, and that's not to say that those are bad performances, but just based upon what we expect out of Noah and Jake, you could look at them as subpar for their standards. We're not getting much out of Cespedes, we're not getting much out of Conforto, and yet here we are, 9-1, rattling off 7 consecutive W's, looking for 8 consecutive W's. Looking for our 7. I was right. Looking for our 8th tonight as Zach Wheeler takes the mound against the Miami Marlins. Yesterday I mentioned something about 2006, and I drew sort of a parallel between Jose Valentin and Adrian Gonzalez, and I got to thinking a little bit more about that comparison, and I came up with a few sort of other links that we can draw, and I wasn't looking very far for this. I didn't really put a whole lot of effort into it. I was kind of thinking about it this morning while I was in the shower, and I actually was able to draw 6 parallels between players from 2006 to players to today. So I mentioned earlier this week or yesterday that Jose Valentin, the 2006 version of Jose Valentin equals the 2018 version of Adrian Gonzalez. Veteran players brought in to have a presence in the clubhouse, provide some stability, but really weren't looked at to be major contributors, just sort of hoping they could tread water at their respective positions. Well, Valentin went on to have an unbelievable season in 2006, and that was, of course, thanks to Kaz Matsui's inability to perform at any level for the Mets. And Adrian Gonzalez is off to a good start, and that's really because Dominic Smith wasn't able to perform at any kind of level, be it because of injury or maturity or whatever. Asdrubal Cabrera, 2018. Again, in my eyes, I link him to the 2006 version of Cliff Floyd. Veteran player, an unbelievable clubhouse presence, does all the little things right, and always seems to come up huge in clutch situations. That's what I remember most about Cliff Floyd, that he was a really clutch player, and I think we're going to look at that with Asdrubal Cabrera this year. He's been absolutely clutch for the first 10 games of this season. 2006, Jose Reyes equals, this is a no-brainer, 2018, Ahmed Rosario. While Rosario is not at the top of the lineup yet, he is that spark plug that this Mets lineup needs to be able to generate runs like the teams of the past have done. And that's what Reyes did for the 06 team. It's what Ahmed Rosario is going to do for the 2018 team. 2006, David Wright, the young heart and soul of the team. Another sort of clear comparison. 2018, Michael Conforto. No need to say anything else. Conforto is becoming the heart and soul of this team. I don't know that there's anyone who doesn't absolutely love Conforto as a fan. So we all felt the same way about David Wright, still do. But out with the old, in with the new. And 2018 Conforto is 2006 David Wright. Carlos Delgado from 2006, the thumper of that lineup, who over the course of 3 seasons really, from 06 to 08, provided a slugger's bat unlike the Mets had really ever seen since really, I mean, Piazza was a slugger, but he did not slug to the level that Delgado did. But in any event, 2006 Delgado equals 2018 Jay Bruce. You're not going to get a high batting average out of them, but you're going to get a minimum of 30 home runs. You're going to get 100 RBIs, again, minimum. And you're going to have a stabilizing presence in the lineup. Oh, they also both happen to be lefties. And finally, Carlos Beltran from 2006 equals Yoenis Cespedes of 2018. You look at what Beltran meant to that team in 06 and compare that to what Cespedes means to this team right now. And although I'm sort of contradicting myself there in that Cespedes has not really performed yet this year, despite a couple of really clutch hits, both against the Nationals and then last night against the Marlins for game-winning, would go on to be game-winning runs being driven in. He hasn't really come up spades all season, very much like Beltran didn't at first with the Mets. That was more like 2005. But 2006, Carlos Beltran put up, in my opinion, the best single season offensively by any Mets player, period. And when you compare what he meant to that team and sort of the whole, as Carlos goes or as Beltran goes, so do the Mets. You can sort of draw that comparison to Cespedes. When Cespedes is hitting the cover off the ball, the Mets win. And that's very much how things were with Beltran in 2006. So, again, I was just sort of thinking about it this morning, and I wanted to chat about it on here and bring it up, and I'm looking forward to hearing some other thoughts. I didn't even think about the pitching staff, although if I do right now spitballing, I don't think there's any comparison. The 2018 pitching staff looks nothing like the 2006 Mets pitching staff. You know, if there was an Achilles heel to that team, it was that the rotation just was a little bit too old, a little bit too veteran, and couldn't stay healthy for the long haul of the season. Bullpen-wise, very comparable. Again, short sample for 2018, but really a lockdown bullpen in 2006 and looking like it's going to be a lockdown in 2018. So, shit, I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell by the tone of my voice. 9-1. 9-1. As I tweeted last night, put it in the record books. This has been the most fun start to a season in my lifetime, and that includes 2006. So let's make it 10-1 tonight. Let's see what Zach Wheeler can do. Let's see if he doesn't let the pressure of this win streak and this record get to him, and he goes out and pitches within himself and is able to secure a victory for this team. I'm looking forward to it. You are too. Let me know what you think about my 06-2018 comparison. I'm looking forward to hearing that as well. You can do that on Twitter and follow me at Mr_Met or in the comments section below this video. I thank you for watching, and as always, let's go Mets.